Perfect. So how to have your, like, it's very hard to talk after that guy because, like, I was reading his books, tutorials, and the, like, articles, and hey, let's do this, and it's a bit really hard, and it also adds something to my excitement, but it's it's an adventure, and I would like you to explore it, and I hope that Turkish community would gets a spark of interest into internals and like experimenting things that we are working and like having the curiosity how this thing is working. I think, yeah, it's hard, but like go for it. You can do it. I did a bit with some help, but let's start the story actually. So about me, I'm a software engineer, and I like to try new things, and I like to share my findings with other people. And like I have a book published in Turkish, and people liked it because it's mostly conversational. And we did the Coding Volunteers organization. It's called Kodlama Gönüllüleri in Turkish. You can find it on Twitter and other places. If you want to volunteer, that's the best thing you can do for learning something deeply and very good level, is teaching it. You know, you understand that, like you think you know everything, but like when you try to describe it, it's like that's where the challenge begins. Now I have the I'm a Zen certified PHP engineer, like which had like no use other than owing people. I have it, and I like JavaScript as well because all my employers are asking me to write with JavaScript instead of PHP. And I'm also looking for new opportunities. If you want to hire someone, we can talk. And what happened actually, like I was working with Cake PHP, if you know the framework. It's a nice framework, mostly inspired by Ruby on Rails, and everything's mostly automated. And if you're a lazy developer, it's perfect fit. But I was writing some models and for some toy projects, and I had to write things like this. Like, have you ever found yourself writing code like this? If you had, like you can raise your hands. Like how many times you had to check for like the variables if it's null? 1, 2, 3, 4. Like it's frustrating actually. Like you have to write, especially in Cake PHP, you have this request data user ID comments if equals null. Like because you are using some, let's say, like request and response from the request, and you're checking if it's null, do this, do that, and 4 lines of code. But like I'm a lazy developer, and this is really pain. And I'm actually very lazy. And this is my cat, and her name is Communist. So PHP 7 came with very nice features, and with the spaceship. Like if you know the spaceship operator, it's a very nice thing. I still like didn't have time or opportunity to use the spaceship operator. It just checks 2 sides of the comparison. If one side is bigger, it says 1. If they are equal 0, if other side is like smaller, it says -1. But I really like the way it shortens the code. You have to write less instead of writing like if, as if, and all those, or switch cases. You have just like strings to a little operator, and it does really like. I also really like the name of the spaceship operator, yeah. And so with the PHP 7, we could write codes like this. And like with the null coalescing operator, and like it's double quotation mark, you can write the part and second part, and then you can check if it's null. You can assign it to an array or something else. So which it really saves you from a lot of comparisons. But I'm still lazy because it's 102 letters, and I have to repeat this giant, like very big variable with the name. So we had this and since 1970s, and it's implemented in C, I think, and at first. I can be wrong. But like there's one thing, this too, like if you want to do the second line, you can write the first line. But behind the scenes, I didn't know it before. I thought they were the same. But behind the scenes, they're not the same. But we will come to that. And what if we could write a code like this, you know, like without repeating, because we had the previous shorthand assignment operators, like we had multiplication assignment and division assignment, like and minus assignment and subtraction assignment. But like we had a new operator, but it didn't have the assignment. So I thought, what if we had this thing, but like 52 letters, and I'm still lazy, but like it saves me from like many lines and many repetitions. And if you multiply it with other parts of your code base, it really saves you time and like gives you pleasure of being lazy, you know. But I looked for it, and it wasn't there. It was in the year 2016, and I said, why it's not there, you know? So I had the idea, and I wanted to have it in PHP, but I didn't know why, how. And I also didn't know any C, you know, like C language. I know from the college, and we had classes in C++, but C is totally different. So I downloaded the PHP source, like, how can I do it? And then I see this, you know, like opcodes, lexers, parsers, and all this like defined consonants, and I was like really lost. And I was like, I was looking at the source code, and I was saying, I don't know anything, you know. I thought I knew the PHP, but what is this, you know? It's C, and there's no classes. There are many pointers, references. Yeah, we had in the college we had it, but it was 6 years ago, and I was like, I want so badly this feature, but oh my god, like this source code is complicated. And there, like, if you want a new feature in PHP, like there are like some things you have to do, you know. It's like an adventure, but I really propose you to go for it, you know, and try, and you have to you explore a lot of stuff. But mostly the thing I understood, my insight is, it's not mostly technical, the adventure, the process you're like working, but it's mostly about people and having respect to the people who are like working on full-time or like they're in their free time in this PHP project that they allow us to use this awesome programming language, and talk with them, have guests to discuss your new feature. But it was like really scary at the beginning, because I went to the PHP dev mailing list, and many things were there, and like I wasn't really understanding many things. But I shared my idea. Hey, like, how can we? Wouldn't it be fine if we had? Because I'm very lazy. Wouldn't it be fine if we had this feature? And people were saying, nice idea, yeah, could be. Who has it? Like Ruby has it. It was proposed also to the C#, but like Microsoft rejected it relentlessly. And you have to share your idea there, like get comfortable with the internals mailing list. This talk is not like mostly technical, but it's mostly about the procedure and like what I had. So you have to go to wiki.php.net, but you have no power. Like you open an account there, but you can't do anything. You can't change anything. So you have any like rights to edit something or create something. So you have to go back to the mailing list and ask for karma. but I still don't know what is it, you know. I think it gives you some superpowers to change wiki.php.net, and you can create an RFC page. So I created the RFC page, and there was lots of corrections because my language, like my native language is not English, and there were English language corrections. The name of the RFC was changed, but that was okay, you know. So I created the RFC. I did a short introduction and put some examples there. And it was nice, and I was really proud that I took the first or second step. Then we had discussed it, and I shared my idea in internals mailing list, and I created RFC. And can we vote now? You know, let's have this nice feature in PHP, and I'm super excited. And they said we have to discuss that. Yeah, there's another stage, you know. And at this stage, I was feeling like this. I was getting some level, and I have to jump another obstacle, and I was passing another level, and it was feeling like it was going on and on. But it's how it's done, in this. And there is this discussion stage. I don't remember. I may be wrong, but there is a discussion stage for every new feature, proposed in PHP, 3 or 4 weeks. I can be wrong, and it should be discussed in the mailing list, you know. And it's discussed, and along the other other things, and people are saying this is good or this is bad, this is not going to work, or this is useless. So, and there are many people. So, and their language is not native, or some of them are native English speakers. So, without getting offended or frustrated, you have to observe and propose. Yeah, this idea was because of this, and you have to you have to defend your idea. So, and then there is the voting phase, and it's another Nikki would know better than me. Some weeks, 1 or 2 weeks, I don't remember well. It was 3 years ago. Then there is the voting phase, and at the end, it was surprisingly, I wasn't actually expecting it, but surprisingly, it was accepted. For 37 against 4. Then it comes to implementation, you know. So you have, yeah, it is accepted, and if you know, yeah, go and implement it. So, but I didn't know the C, and I was I didn't know what can I do, but there is the PHP source, and I downloaded and I was checking. Then I went to this guy's blog, who talked before me, and I had the honor to meet with him. And there's the how to add syntactic features to PHP. And this is if you want to propose a new feature or syntactic feature or a new operator, this is the first resource that you have to go. And he, one by one, slowly takes your hand with the baby steps, shows what is it for, where you have to go, which H file, which header file, which C file is for. Then there are also other resources, like the PHP internals book, and it's on GitHub, hosted on GitHub, and PHP internals website, if you are interested. So you have to go there and try, at least, you know, I tried. But there was a problem. So I implemented this is a syntactic sugar, and there was a huge problem. It was a very big challenge for me because I had to write hundreds of lines of C code which I couldn't understand after I wrote it, but I tried, I did it, and there was also you have to write also PHP T files, which they are PHP test files when you are proposing a new feature. But the problem here, it's a bit tricky to explain, but in the first part, when you put this line into equals before the assignment, you are calling this variable. And if this variable is a resource, a stream, or like a function returns the value, and you are calling it. And in the second part, you are calling it again. And when you are calling it again, if there are resources, or like if you are like, if it's calling some function when you're getting it, they can create a lot of errors, and a lot of, not errors, but inconsistencies. And they're mostly are not going to be the same. So like I had like, I was a bit frustrated because like there was like, yeah, it's not going to work, and it's like I was a bit disappointed, but like, yeah, at least I tried. But like RFC was there, it was accepted, I was proud of it, very happy about it. And yeah, at least I tried, you know. And fast forward 3 years, I was in the office, and I was like just reading PHP internals, and like, and time to time I was checking if someone is going to implement it. I would be very happy because this is like this is a feature that I was waiting, and I'm still lazy. And this guy, thanks to him, created the pull request, and it's coming to PHP 7.4, which I'm really proud, and like thanks to him, a Jedi Master. And this is like for me the happy ending. I'm really happy about it. And if you have any questions, I can tell you details how I was there to change something in PHP, or like create a new feature, or how you can do it. But it's mostly about humans. So that's it. Quite fast. So any questions? No question. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. There is one question, I think. Yeah.
Don't you think you could have learned C in 3 years?
Sorry?
Don't you think you could have learned C in 3 years?
I could have learned C? Yeah, but like my employers, like I'm really actually, my employers, every time they were saying, yeah, I know PHP, like I really like this language, and they say, oh, are you still using PHP? Or like, is someone still using PHP? And there's microphone is here, okay. Is someone still using the PHP? And I really like this joke, like if I would, you know, ask for $1 or $2, when I was asked this question, like I could really be millionaire, you know, and they were mostly asking for me to write like even Objective-C, mostly JavaScript, and mostly front-end development code. But like yeah, I could, but like it wasn't required. And like I was a bit like lost my motivation, and I was like a bit scared. But it's doable right now. Like I also had this like solution and how it could be done. But I lost a bit my motivation. But it's doable. And PHP source code is like when you get into it and you get lost into it, you start to understand after some point. But I don't know like when it could happen, you know. So that was it. Like I still preserve my interest and into internals, and like I have some utopia dreams about PHP and some other languages. And I was also working with lexers and parsers. It's actually not only about C, but it's about the procedure, lexers and parsers and opcodes and like all this stuff. So I have some ideas, but like you have to be like active and patient, and and you have to respect the procedures and all the people who have lots of experience. I was really a newbie, and I'm always keeping my beginner mindset, but it's still in my plans, you know. I have it. So that's it. Any other questions? Perfect. So thank you. Thanks a lot.